Alright, this is going to be a short how-to kind of quick video of how I merge castings together. There's lots of different ways to do it. This is just how I do it, and someone had asked how I do it and if I would do a how-to video. So this is my process. So once you get the pieces cut, and if you can, you see how I did this down here, left a piece on the bottom of this to where it will sit on top. That gives it more support to where it's not just relying on the what I use is JB Weld. So if you can do that to where it provides some more support, that helps out. If you can cut it like that. I mean, some of the ones I do, it's just a straight cut down on both of them. But this one I was able to do it like this to where it would have that extra support. So and you want to try to get it as straight as you can, because it's a whole lot easier. As you can see, this isn't as straight as it could be. Got a little aggressive with the cut, but those gaps will be filled in. So if it's not perfectly straight, once you line everything up and make it straight. Okay, the next process is I take a piece of plastic, which is I use old credit cards, or like the junk mail you get in the mail, you know, offering something, and glue it like this. And here, if you can see how that is, just find a flat spot. Try to find a spot if you're going, you know, where the interior won't mess with it, because this is what's going to help provide the support to hold the pieces together. So just whatever, every piece is going to be different. With this one, it's not going to be much interior in here, the way I'm doing this. So this will be a pretty easy one. But you just glue, and gel glue is the best to use for this because it's thicker. I don't have gel glue right now, but I wanted to go ahead and make the video, so I just have just regular super glue. And just glue it in there like that. And you're going to do it to both sides. I'm not going to sit here and make you watch the glue dry. But just do that to both sides. And I'll come back once this is set and show you the next step. Okay, once you have them glued, I went ahead and did one on this side. You can do either way, both of them on one piece or on this side. I went ahead and did it on each one just to save some time. But once you do that, then you just put some more glue on the little plastic pieces and then put it together. You know, you want to test fit it and everything so that before you put the glue on, so that you can get an idea of how it's going to fit. So do your little test fit and make sure everything's kosher, like everything's going to be cohesive. Once you do that, then you put the glue on there and let it set and glue itself together. You can use clips of some kind to kind of hold it together while it's gluing and to keep it straight, which isn't a bad idea, because then you can, you know, move it around a little bit, you know, to make it straight. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the camera here and finish gluing this to get the pieces together. Alright, so once you have it all lined up and glued, like on this one, you can see I lined it up the best I could, clamped the clamps on it, and they might get glued to it, but they should be able to pull off kind of easy. But you just line it up the best you can and let the glue dry. And then once the glue's dried, the next step is using tape and JB Weld. So I will get that started. I'm gonna let that dry for a little bit. So the next things you'll need is some masking tape, and I use JB Weld. There's other things to use. A product called Milliput. Sometimes I use that. It's not as liquid as JB Weld, but I have more JB Weld than the Milliput. So that's what we're going to use on this project. And the project depends too on which one I choose to use. Something like this that I can mask off pretty well, then the JB Weld comes in handy. Alright, so I'm going to let that dry and then be right back. Okay, so now once that it's dry, you know, and you've inspected it and it looks good, and you're ready to use the JB Weld, what I do is I take some masking tape, and this will be in multiple processes because it's going to need to be JB welded on 3 sides. So you just kind of put the masking tape over the open cracks in the casting. This way the JB Weld doesn't leak all over the place once you put it in there. And you're just going to start with one side. So yeah, just tape up all the crack where it won't get out. Some, depending on the piece too, you might want to, you know, make some dams like that, you know, to hold it back. This one I don't think we'll have to do that with. This depends on what you're doing. Alright, I'm going to stop the camera here. I'm going to mix up the JB Weld. If you don't know how to do that, it's pretty simple. It's just half and half on that. You just put the same amount of each tube onto something. I always kind of save the cardboard from the Hot Wheels castings when I get those. I just kind of mix it on that. It's alright. I'll be right back. Okay. So, yeah, you just put, focus in there. There you go. Yeah, you just put the same amount of each one from the tube. Mix it up real good like this. I try to find something flat. Usually a scrap piece of popsicle stick. Yeah, Billy. Popsicle sticks. But you just mix both of them up. Very good. And you want to just mix up what you'll use. Like, I think I mixed up too much here. Sometimes when I'm doing this, if I have multiple things needing it, I'll have them set aside so that I can quickly use it on both of them. Okay, so now what you'll do is take the JB Weld and smear it in on the crack and over the pieces of plastic that you put in there. Now be sure and cover the pieces of plastic pretty good, because that's going to provide the support needed to keep the pieces together so that they don't fall apart. And this is just how I do it. I mean, you can use the same idea here with different materials. This just seems to work for me. And it's cheap materials. And if it's, sometimes the stuff is a little bit runny depending on how you mix it. But you want to be sure and get it in all the places to where the crack is. And be sure and put it all in there. But yeah, make sure to get it in with the cover up the plastic pieces to kind of help hold that down, because the super glue is kind of, I use it just to get started, and the main support is going to be the JB Weld. And also, when you're doing this, keep in mind your interior and what you're going to be doing with it. This is a simple piece that I'm working on, so the interior of it's not going to be a lot of pieces. So it's going to be easy to put it on the bottom casting, the chassis. So once you got it all covered the way you want it, next thing is let it set. And I do advise let it set for a good amount of time. Let me see, what is the recommended time? It says it will set in 4 minutes, but I think there's a... In 4 hours, it's completely set. I usually let it set for a day before I really mess with it. But once you let it get it all in there, let it set for, you know, at least the 4 hours that the JB Weld recommends. And once that's done, then you can actually grind some of this away if you need to for your interior pieces. I would grind the most part. Okay, I ran out of memory, so I had to switch. Alright, so yeah, once you get it all in there, let it dry. I recommend letting it dry at least the 4 hours that's recommended. And then you're going to do you can grind some of this away and sand it away if you need to. I would recommend sanding less off of this and more off the interior pieces if you can. That way there's more support for this. And just be careful when you're sanding that you don't sand away all of the stuff away so that it don't use it all up. But yeah, that's pretty much how I do it. Once this is done on the interior and you peel the tape away, if there's any voids in the exterior, you can use the same process. Just get you some more JB Weld and fill in the cracks, kind of like Bondo on a car. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And then just set it aside and let it dry. So I hope that helps some of the ones that are getting into doing full customs like this. And that's it. That's pretty much how I do that. Alright, this is Smooth Criminal signing out. Be good or be good at it.